because you leaders are getting ready to shout. You can give all of the good ideas. You can give all of the nuggets. It's up to them to want to do what needs to be done. You got to make sure that they want it. See, my problem is this. Have y'all ever had all the nuggets, all the nutrients, all the things to feed their people, but when you're serving a good meal, they don't want to come sit at the table and eat it? Are y'all listening to me? You're giving it to them. How many of you pastors have said, I'm working Bible class, I'm working Sunday school, I'm working the word, I'm working YPW, I'm working so and so, and I'm doing this, that, and the other. And watch this here. They don't want it. You want to know why? Because some people, they want it for free. They don't want to invest in themselves. They don't want to invest in it if you get a profit off of it. But if they get it, then they'll invest in themselves if it has to do with them. And you have to be mindful, and all of you leaders that's listening, you got to have people around you that want to see the betterment for their leader. If you have people that only care about themselves and don't care nothing about you as a leader, they're under the wrong ministry. Are y'all listening to me? And if y'all think I'm wrong, please tell me I'm wrong and we can have a conversation about it. You got to make sure that people buy into you like they buy into the vision, but they must buy into you first. You are the visionarian. And we must understand that we got to share the power. If we're giving you the information, it's for you to come down and sit down and eat it. It's for you to want to pick it up and come get it. And some of us right now, I got to spoon feed it to you. I got to cook it. I got to pay for everything. I got to do everything. And you don't want to do nothing but sit back and get fat and sit at the table. Woe unto them that sit back all day and sit and be fat and lazy, don't want to do nothing, and want everything hand delivered and carved to them. If you have people around you that all they do is sit up and be on the phone, inboxing and begging people, that is a person who don't want to grow and excel in what it is that they're trying to do. You're going to have to start saying to yourself and make some, as they're saying right now, make some money moves. You're going to have to make some leadership moves and learn how to shift some people, because there can be a detriment to your ministry. And some of us right now have people in our camps that are poisonous. They are viperous snakes that are slithering through in the ear gates of people, in the lettering gates, making sure that they are destroying and tearing up people's ministry. And some of you that know that they are connected to other people, if they are contacting you talking about your leader, you ought to shut them down, because if you sit up and you entertain what they're saying, you're just as guilty of what they're saying about the leader. You have the relationship with the leader. You got to be mindful of the people that's listening. Amen. Y'all ain't saying nothing, because if the leader was that good when they was putting hands on you and signing papers and giving you everything, they just as good when they got to rebuke their tails. Y'all ain't talking. You're going to have to learn how to get these people chin checked straight and make sure that they're not disrespecting your covenant relationship. Because some people, they want to tear up your relationship with their leader so they can try to come in. But let me give you a little FYI. If they set up and they destroyed that leader, when they come to you, just what? You're going to inherit that, because they're going to bring that same spirit right up into your organization. You want to make sure that if you're going to be a leader who attracts a leader, not only do you want to see them successful, not only do you want to reproduce them, not only do you want to focus on their strengths, not only do you want to share the power with them to let them walk along the same way that Jesus made sure that his 12 disciples was walking with him and making sure that they were doing what they were supposed to do. Here's the next thing. You invest your time in them. Y'all ain't ready for me today. If you are a real leader, you are to invest time into your people. You got to take the time to invest in them. You got to take some midnight oil with some of these people. And I ain't talking about just slinging no olive oil on them. I'm talking about you got to spend time with them in knowledge. You got to spend time with them and teaching them everything that they should learn. You got to take time with them to make sure that they're following through with what they're supposed to follow through. Invest some time. And one thing I can say, if I got any of them that are honest and any of them that are true, I really spend a lot of time with our people. Some of them, they get to travel, they get to do a whole lot of stuff, they get to rain off the dime, they get to do a whole lot of it. And watch this here, they get time invested in them. Now I got some that will sit up and say that I do for everybody else, but they don't ever see that they got everything before the other people did. But some folk don't want to share their leader. They want to hoard their leader, and you can't hoard the leader. You got to let the leader do what he has to do. That's one of the things that I would say, and I would say it publicly, because they don't get a lot of press. EWTC had to share me with the entire world. They had to share me where there were times I couldn't be at my own church to help everybody else's church. And I got some kids that are still disgruntled because the effort that I put into other people, that same effort is not returned in kind to me. And hear me, there is a thing that you're going to have to learn in this season. You got to spend some time invested. I made an illustration the other day. I said a good leader is going to make sure that they walk with their leaders. You're going to have to make sure that you train them, you coach them, you develop them, and you send them out. What I loved about Jesus, he spent time with his leaders and he sent them out. I want to let you know, and I pray that y'all hear me, and senior leaders, I pray that I'm not offensive when I say this. It is time to send your people out to go do some evangelism work. I don't care if they the Queen Mother Apostle. I don't care if they are the third removed district mother supervisor. They're going to have to go out and learn how to evangelize. I thank God that about a month and a half ago, we were sitting up in the church and there wasn't nobody there but me and Apostle Sharon, because all the other leaders was gone, because they was out doing their apostolic work. They were out teaching, coaching, and training, developing, and doing some stuff in these churches. Hear me, on a Sunday. Did y'all hear what I said? You got to make sure that if you're going to be a leader, lead the way in every way. And when you have these apostolic teams or these teams that are traveling with you, amen, you want to make sure that they're doing it. Some people will not go with me based off where I'm going, amen. Because hear me, some people don't want to deal with vipers. Some people don't want to deal, amen, when they know that there's usury. Some people don't want to go somewhere and sow seed in the folly ground. And some people don't want to go because they don't want to see that we're not investing good time into people that's not investing time into you. We're going to have to go into the streets. We're going to have to go into the highways, the byways. We're going to have to make some things happen in this season to make sure that we are attracting leaders. All of you that's on here in the fivefold ministry gifts, some of you I've had the opportunity of knowing, some of you I had the opportunity of meeting, a lot of you I mentor, a lot of you that I coach, and some of you were with me for a season and you're gone the next, and whatever the case is. But hear me, if you were with me, you got something from me, whether it was something that helped you, whether it was something now that you're realizing that you didn't realize then. You have to make sure that you are investing some good, solid time. Good relationships are when you invest the time and know them for yourself instead of through somebody's eyes. I may have met people through another person's eyes, but I got to know them for myself. Are you listening to me? That's why I can try the Spirit by the Spirit. Amen. And some of you right now, your fruit is tangled. It's tainted. Some of your fruit right now, you got a bunch of rotten apples because you did not take the time to invest to see your harvest manifest. You're going to have to make sure that you invest some time. I got two more and I'm going to let you go. All right. Hear me. Not only leaders who attract followers, remember this, are good leaders, but a leader who attracts leaders, hear me, are great leaders. Hear me. When you are walking with leadership, your job is to make the other one greater. I'm telling you right now, if you are with someone, I love intense relationship. I got some good apostle brothers that I hang with. My mentors are very great in my life. And one thing that we do, we challenge each other to become greater. We see greatness on their life. We see them doing some stuff and we want to pull them along. We want to help them along because we know you can go better. There are people that would talk to me all the time and they'll say, you know, I love what you're doing. I say, pray for me that you'll be better than me. Amen. Because depending on who you ask, there'll be some that would think what you said is contradictory. You want to make sure that you want to make each other greater. Make each other greater. I believe every leader can become greater. I believe that you can refine yourself. Every day I'm refining myself. Every day I'm making myself want to do better. Every day I want to be better than I was the day before. And hear me, sometimes your silence may be misunderstood, but it can never be misquoted. And sometimes that's what I love. Sometimes you got to shut your mouth, and sometimes to be a great leader, you got to know when to keep quiet. You got to know when to plow and how to make moves in silence. Some of you right now, you're too noisy, and that's how the enemy knows what you're doing. When a person can sit up and say, oh, I know him. Oh, I know him. Oh, I know him. See, my name is Peters. I'm not apostle. I'm not doctor. I'm Robbie. And I'm Peters. Amen. And I like that. I like people that know that. That lets me know your level of respect for me. And what I've learned is that Peters had to learn to shut his mouth. Peters had to learn because, see, you have people around you who think they can tell everybody about you and they don't even know nothing about you. You're going to have to learn to keep your mouth shut in this season. And if you're going to make greater leaders, you know how to make greater leaders because they'll be like Peter, James, and John. They'll go on top flight mission. But some of you have Peter, James, and Johns and they go to sleep instead of praying. I want to know how many of you right now have people that are authentically praying. The key to great leadership is not how well you can squall in the mic, no matter how well that you can prophesy, no matter how well that you can sing. The greatest gift of your leadership is knowing how to have a prayer life and know how to go on consecration and know when to speak and when not to speak. Man, I wish I had a real adjutant leader on this phone, on this line that can tell you. When we grew up in the adjutancy and we walked with the leader, we kept our mouth shut until we were told we could speak. But we have too many leaders today that's free will. They can open their mouth, say what they want to say. And some people right now are getting ready to face litigation for breaking confidentiality. Some people right now, they are being sued. They are being sued for some of the things that have came out of their mouth that should not have came out of their mouth. And right now there are dispositions. I hear it in the spirit as well as in the natural. There are dispositions right now because cases are being brought up upon people for what it is that they are doing. You're going to have to learn how in this season to make a greater leader. And to make a greater leader, sometimes it's taking your crozier, amen, and taking that hook and yanking them back in. Hear me very carefully, taking the bottom of that actual crozier, breaking their legs, bringing them back in to make some things happen. You're going to have to walk into a place where you're going to make a greater leader. Sometimes the greatest gift that you can make a better people is leaving their life. The best way to make them a greater leader is to let them know that they're no longer up under your covering and let them fend for themselves. You better know for yourself sometimes to make greater leaders, hear me, you are handicapping people. And that's where God is going to get you. He's going to rebuke you. He's going to get you together because God said that I didn't ever tell you to do that in the first place. You're going to have to start looking at some stuff and saying, I got to make some leaders even greater. Here's my last one, and then I'm going to put it all together for you. Leaders who attract followers need to be needed. A leader who attracts leaders wants to be succeeded. A leader who attracts followers wants recognition. A leader who attracts leaders wants to reproduce himself. A leader who attracts followers wants to focus on the weakness, but a leader who attracts a leader focuses on the strength. A leader who attracts followers wants to hold on to the power, but a leader who attracts a leader wants to share the power. A leader who attracts the follower spend time with others, but a leader who wants to attract another leader wants to share the power. A leader who attracts a follower spend time with others, but a leader who attracts a leader invests their times into others. A leader who attracts a follower are good leaders, but a leader who attracts a leader are great leaders. Here's my last one. A leader who attracts follower experiences some success. Y'all ready? Please write it. And a leader who attracts leaders makes the experience incredible success. Did y'all hear me? I'm closing right here. You want to make sure that you give people Ritz-Carlton, not Econo Lodge. You want to make sure that they don't get a Night's Inn, a Super 8 experience. You want them to get a Wyndham, a Ritz-Carlton, a Renaissance experience. But let me give you the key to that. People who experience some success, they're satisfied with so-and-so given. But when you want an incredible experience, you're going to pay more. I just had a conference, and you'll be amazed. For 3 days, the hotel was almost $500. But they had a restaurant in there. They had everything that you would want inside this one hotel. Some of y'all that have ever traveled with me, y'all know the hotels we kind of stay at. And when we said them hotels, not saying we better than nobody. I'm not bragging. I'm not saying none of that because I get in trouble for a lot of that. Some people, they've been upgraded being with me, regular rooms, the suites, and all kind of stuff. Some people flew with me, got a premier board and got first class seat and all kind of stuff. You know why? Because I refuse to live beneath my privilege. Y'all ain't saying nothing to me. And some of you right now, if you're going to have a great life and you're living for the kingdom, you're entitled to some of the greatest aspects that the Lord has called for us to give. Watch what I'm getting ready to tell you. Your experiences ought to be incredible. It ought to be good for you to want to be able to say that I did something for the Lord. Hear me. Not that he's giving it to me in money, but he's going to give you some stuff in favor. I'm getting ready to close with this. The experience that you're getting ready to walk into is getting ready to be an incredible success. For every single leader that's listening to me today, you are getting ready to walk through some doors in 2018 that are much bigger than you ever thought. But let me help you. Don't you water down. Don't you ever water down what God made you. And don't you apologize for what God gave you. You're going to have to start saying to yourself that I refuse to allow any and everything to get into my ear gate. If I know you fickle, I'm staying far away from you. And I'm going to let you be fired by God and let you keep your name. And some people right now that are taking up space in your life, God's going to even give you an incredible experience with them. You have to learn how to embrace where you are. Some of you right now are bitter. And that's why you are not moving in your favor of God, because you are bitter. And some of you right now, you are angry, you're mad. And God told me to tell you, I'm making this better for you. I preached it and I'm telling you, I had to live it. I'm living it now. There's a thorn in my flesh. I asked him to remove it 3 times, but he said, my grace is sufficient. Y'all